Most men out there may think your biggest battle today may come from your job, a bad boss, a bad coworker, or with your finances. But if you don't win the battle within yourself, you'll lose each and every single day of the rest of your life. The loudest voice that you're fighting is not from the world. It's from within yourself. My name is Mark. I've been a fitness coach since 2015, and I coach Christian dads on figuring out the discipline in their faith, in their health, and in their lives. And here's what I figured out from coaching people like you for over 10 years now. You aren't lazy. You have what it takes. You just are busy. Responsibilities at work, responsibilities at home. You're a devoted father, a devoted husband, and you have all these avenues and hats you have to wear in your life that you can't properly devote the time and attention and focus to. The reason why you find yourself starting over every Monday and quitting on Thursday, for example, it's not because of your willpower and your willingness to change. It's a listening problem. You're listening to the wrong voices. I know this because I've been doing that for years. I've been listening to the wrong voice right here in between the 8 inches between my ears. We could become our own biggest enemies. This happens so very often. So by the end of this video, you're going to know exactly which voices are lying to you. You're going to know how to protect and guard yourself against them using scripture. And I'll walk you through 3 practical shifts that you could use and take action starting today. This alone will change how much energy you have for your wife, your kids, and your house. Promise you, if you implement these steps, they'll change how you show up every single day. Make sure you stick around to the end because the last one is the one that moves the needle the most, and it's the one that most men skip. Let's start off by talking about the one that most people never talk about. And it's something that most people never even get to in the first place because it doesn't happen at the gym or the dinner table or at work or at home. It happens before you get to either one of those things. The first thing I want to talk about is the progression of temptation. James chapter 1, verses 13 through 15. Let no man say what he is tempted. I am tempted of God, for God cannot be tempted with evil, neither tempteth he any man. But every man is tempted when he is drawn away of his own lust and enticed. Then when lust hath conceived, it bringeth forth sin, and sin, when it is finished, bringeth forth death. So James is correcting a common excuse, blaming God or circumstances for temptation. Familiar at all? So he lays out a progression that starts internally, not externally. It's not one event. It's a chain. It's a series of events. Desire leads to enticement. Enticement leads to conception the moment you entertain it. That's what it means. That is what sin is a result of. And the scripture says that sin ultimately leads to death. So the fight doesn't start when you act. It starts when you let it take root. It starts before that. It starts earlier than you may think. So the main idea here is Satan doesn't have to destroy you to win. He just has to distract you. He just has to accuse you. That's actually what Satan means, the accuser. The main idea here is to catch that voice when it's enticing you, when it's trying to entice you, before contentment, before it's conceived. Catch those thoughts right at the throat. Philippians chapter 4, verse 8. Finally, brethren, whosoever things are true, whosoever things are honest, whosoever things are just, whosoever things are pure, whosoever things are lovely, whosoever things are good report, if there be any virtue, if there be any praise, think on these things. So Paul writes this from prison to the Philippians, to the church of Philippi. And this is not abstract advice, but it's how he personally guards his mind under pressure. The command is active, so you have to deliberately choose what occupies your mind. We choose what occupies our mind. Basically, this is the solution to the James verse I went over before. Manifestation is real. You have to think to make things a reality. So this is the same progression that kills a workout before it starts. The thought of, I don't feel like it, I don't feel like moving or getting out of bed or getting out of this comfy situation to step out of my comfort zone. That's that feeling of enticement. That's the devil trying to get into your head and stop you in your tracks. Because that is the hardest part, is getting started, getting out of your comfort zone. If you have something that you don't want to do at first, that's more than likely what you need to be doing. Nobody ever changes doing things they're comfortable with. If you let those thoughts win, if you don't get up, if you give in to those immediate gratification thoughts and actions, you've already lost. You've already let those conception thoughts sink in. Like when you skip the gym, when you eat something you know you're not supposed to, when you stay in bed longer than you should, especially when you get enough sleep, that little voice that creeps in that says, this is too hard, start tomorrow, whatever the excuse is, you go scroll on your phone instead. That's the same voice that James is describing. Doing hard things is not something to resent. It's a gift. Most of the world does not have the free will or the ability to choose to do something difficult. You have that choice. I think the world would be such a better place if we all just woke up with such gratitude that we have legs to stand, that we have the limbs to do what we want to do, that we have air in our lungs, that we have a roof over our head, that we have clean water, that we have food in our fridges. In my opinion, gratitude is the key to happiness. True gratitude. The exact reason why I choose to run most mornings is because I'm grateful for the legs I stand on. So here's your first actionable step. The next time you have those thoughts creep in about skipping the workout or starting the next day or telling yourself it's okay if you don't do it, remember the thoughts of guilt when you don't. And I want you to practice manifesting your life when you do those things, how your life can change. I want you to write it down. When you have those thoughts creep in, inevitably, when they will, I want you to stop, get a notepad, put it next to your bed, and write down what those thoughts will do. Write down what doing that action will do for your life. Because I think we all need to remember why. That's literally the reason why I continue to wake up and work towards my goals, is because I remember the feeling of how it feels if I don't do the thing. That's literally the reason why one of the reasons why I'm recording this video, is because I know how I'll feel if I don't do it. And sometimes that's enough. Now, once you know how to catch the thoughts before they even take the root, there's a second problem. Because even after you win that moment, there's something else that you need to keep in mind. There's a voice that's been running commentary on you your entire life. And the chances are you've never once questioned if it's been telling you the truth or not. Number 2, the loudest voice is inside your head. Proverbs 23 verse 7. For as he thinketh in his heart, so is he. So this is short and sweet. Your internal dialogue isn't neutral. It shapes your actual identity and behavior. So this is the scriptural backbone for the idea that the loudest voices in your life are not the ones in the outside world. They're the ones inside your own head. So what you repeatedly tell yourself becomes who you are. And this is separate from just manifestation, like I went over in the first point. This is identity. This becomes an identity problem. You are who you identify yourself to be. If people talked about you the way you talk about your own self, when you get hard on yourself, would you even be their friends? I want to challenge you to start proactively talking to yourself. And better yet, talking to God. Matthew chapter 3, verse 17, and lo, a voice from heaven saying, this is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased. This phrase is spoken over Jesus at his baptism. So this is before he had done any public ministry, performed any miracles. That affirmation came first. And that was based on his identity, not his performance. And God says the same over you every single morning. But here's the thing, most men miss it completely because they don't stop and appreciate that gift. They miss it because they're so preoccupied in everything going on. They don't slow down enough to receive it the way they should. I'm talking about myself too here. There's still days that I miss it. I'm still actively working on this. Matthew chapter 6, verse 34. Take therefore no thought for the morrow, for tomorrow shall take the thought for the things of itself. Sufficient unto the day is the evil thereof. So that comes at the end of Jesus' teaching on worry in the Sermon on the Mount. And he's not saying don't plan. He's saying that don't let your mind live in a day that hasn't happened yet. Live in the present. Those are the two main points here. You have to figure out how to identify yourself. I identify as a fitness coach. I identify as a content creator. I identify as an entrepreneur and live in the present. I'm focusing on just right now recording this video. I'm not focusing on all the tasks and stuff I have to do later in the day. I'm not listening to those voices of overwhelm and you're not good enough. You're not going to get everything done. There's not enough time in the day. I don't listen to that. I've learned to be here, to enjoy this beautiful sunrise, to enjoy my 2 cats that are right here, enjoy the flowers, to enjoy my wife's beautiful arrangements here on this balcony with flowers and the peace of it being an early morning and it being quiet out here, besides maybe the road noise you hear. Live in the moment. It doesn't mean that don't plan. It means that you have to be present and enjoy all the blessings that God gives you every second of every day. And this goes back to what I said before. Confidence does not show up when you think about training or when you think about your fitness goals. It shows up afterwards. It shows up after you've accomplished something. The voices that tell you you're never going to change, they're all lies. The voice that tells you that you are capable, that you are disciplined, that you do have what it takes, that's not arrogance. That's not pride. That's God. That's real confidence that God's giving you. That's exactly what God has designed you to build your house with and show up each and every day for your family. I want to emphasize that you don't have to have the next month or 3 to 6 months of your fitness journey or anything else in your life for that matter figured out. You just need to have today figured out. And sometimes that begins with one task or 1 hour at a time. I'm at a point now, my wife and I, it took years to get to this point, but we have our calendars for the most part figured out. And that doesn't mean that they don't change from now and then, but we figured out that our most productive hours are early morning until about maybe noon or 1 o'clock. And then anything else after that, we don't start new projects. We don't expect to get much done after that hour. And we're fine with that. We don't fight that anymore. Instead, we just have 1 to 2 things on our daily calendar and we focus only on those things. That's for a reason. That's by design. The point is worrying about how far you have to go or how much you have to do, or regretting the months you didn't start, or regretting something that didn't get done. That's the enemy pulling you out of the one day or one moment you could actually do something about. Because at the end of the day, that's what we have control over the most, is right now. So let's take action. I want you to, when you do your workouts this week or your walks or you eat well, you do something that moves the needle towards your fitness goals. I want you to do this. Replace that passive self-talk with proactive self-talk. I want you to bring back that verse from Matthew chapter 6. Think about just winning today. My wife really helped with this too. When I get down on myself, and I still do sometimes, about not getting as much done as I wanted to, she thinks of it as a train. So you start off the day at one train stop. Basically, if you end the day off getting something done, you're at a different train stop. So as long as you end the day at a different stop than you started, that's progress. This gives me peace knowing that, and it actually makes me more productive, and I actually get more done knowing this. Now, with all this said, here's the thing though. You could still win that mental battle, but still walk into your house at the end of the day and still feel like you are defeated. Still feel like you have nothing left to give. Because there's one more gate that most guys leave wide open. It's directly tied to whether you give your kids the version of you that they really need. Your kids and your wife. Proverbs 4, verses 23 through 27. Keep thy heart with all thy diligence, for out of it are the issues of life. Put away from thee froward mouth, and perverse lips put far from thee. Let thine eyes look right on, and thine eyelids look straight before thee. Ponder the path of thy feet, and let all thy ways be established. Turn not to the right hand, nor to the left. Remove thy foot from evil. So Solomon, David's son, King Solomon, writing as a father, instructing his son, lists 4 specific and controllable checkpoints: heart, mouth, eyes, and feet. So this isn't vague advice, it's a practical audit. So each gate, these are gates And it's something that you could actually monitor day by day. So the idea is to audit what and who comes through your gates, and it becomes what you believe about your own identity. We talked about manifestation. We talked about positive self-talk. We talked about identity. Now we're talking about your inputs, what you surround yourself with, the media, your company, self-talking, your circle, who you hang around with. You are who you hang around. You are what you subject yourself to, what you consume. Are you a lustful Christian? Do you surround yourself with lust? Do you have negative influences? People who don't think the way you do, people who will set you further back, people who will break you down instead of build you up. What do you do in your free time? Do you only see God when it's convenient? Think about your fitness goals. Think about your health goals. What do you subject yourself to? It goes beyond just physical, right? It's mental too. It's emotional. Of course, spiritual, like we've talked about. What you put in your mouth, how you move your body. What you put into your body directly fuels the energy you have and how you show up for yourself and your family each and every day. Or it could completely drain you and shut you down. A man who runs on garbage food and processed high saturated fats, high sugar, high sodium, instead of high fiber, protein, and micronutrients, doesn't have any more energy by 6 p.m. He's tapped out, and he's a lesser version of himself and for his family. Your health goals are something that are not to be taken lightly. It's not even just for you. It goes beyond that. It goes beyond your whole family, and it can change your whole family tree. So take action today. I want you to pick one meal today and ask yourself, does this help me show up as the man I need to be for my family tonight? Not even just you, because let's be honest, that isn't enough. You have to do it for everyone around you. It gives you more energy to be the father and the man you need to be. So I want you to just pick one meal today. If you could even take this a step further, it'd be even better. And that's tracking your food on an app like MyFitnessPal or Chronometer or Lose It. Put in your goals on there and just practice putting in what you eat. There was a study done at Duke University, 3 months long, about 70 participants. All they did was track what they ate, nothing else. No diet changes. All they did was just take out their phone and put in what they ate. That's it. On an average, they lost about 5 pounds. Just awareness. That's all it takes. Awareness and structure. That's the key to losing weight. And more importantly, changing your habits and your lifestyle. So let's bring it all together now. Every single day, you're fighting battles in your own head. That moment right before you give into something that you know isn't going to put you forward and you know is not good for you. You're manifesting the wrong things. You're not identifying with the person you need to be. You're not surrounding yourself with the right people, the right resources, the right circle, the right media exposure, the right content. Maybe you're lustful. Maybe you watch porn. The gates either guard you or leave you wide open. If you win even just one of those, you'll not only just feel closer to God, you'll have a whole new outlook to life. You'll have gratitude. You'll have more patience. You'll be able to give a version of yourself to your family that you didn't even know existed. Here's a question one of my colleagues, Rex, from Iron Sharpens Iron, left me with, and I want to leave it with you too. By the way, if you want to check out their podcast, I left it in the description below. Highly recommend if you're a Christian father. Nothing changed in your life for the next year. How satisfied would you be with the man looking at you in the mirror? I want you to comment your answer down below. And I also want you to like this video if any part of it resonated with you or your life, because it's really going to help show it to more Christian men who may need it. I really believe that the biggest battle we face as Christian men every single day is the battle within. And I know this because I still struggle with it today, but I'm working on it every single day. And I think we all need to do that. And I think that starts with learning more scriptures, being around more like-minded people. If you want to learn more about working one-on-one with me, you can check out the first link down below in the description, and you can see if we're a good fit to work together. I didn't bring up any personal issues in this video that you may be going through if I haven't been going through them myself. And this video will explain how I got over them and changed the old version of me. Thanks for watching, everyone, and I'll see you in the next one.